Hey guys, what's going on? So it's been a little while since I posted a video. The main reason is I was asked a question by Jordan, and he's like, after I posted the last Star Wars video I put up, and he's like, you need to explain this game. And I thought about that for a while, and like I was talking to him while I was at work, so I had a couple hours to mull around the old noggin what I wanted to talk about, and I thought I thought I knew what I wanted to talk about, and then I actually got to like making the commentary. Like I got my headset on, I was like had Audacity ready, and I was recording, and I was just like, and I got like 5 minutes in, and I was just like, no one's gonna understand anything that I'm saying. Like, I'm just trying to like explain everything in this, I don't know, in a way that so that no one will have to ask me a question. Like they'll just know everything. But I mean, now I realize it's just impossible. And no matter how I explain it, there's always gonna be a question. There's always gonna be whatever. So I'm just gonna do the best that I can and go from there. And I'll probably just do another follow-up video according to what questions I get and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna. There's two different main aspects: Star Wars PvE, player versus everyone, kind of against the NPC or MCP or whatever you want to call it, or NPC. I don't care. And PvP. I honestly enjoy both of those pretty equally. For instance, today I did a raid of Eternity Vault. I recorded the boss fights in that game. I mean, it's not really hard fights. It's, I mean, for my character, because I'm decently geared. But we had other people that needed gear, and they were under geared, and we are going so they can get gear, blah blah blah. But anyway, I didn't really want to talk about PvE. I want to talk about PvP. So I'm just going to be talking about in generalities of kind of like every class has this, every class has that. But for everything that I say, there's pretty much an exception to every rule. For instance, every class has like some sort of knockback where you use the attack and it does like a minimal amount of damage, like 400 to 700, and it just sends them back between like 5 and 15 meters depending on the class. The only classes that don't have one that I know of are Sith Martyrs and Jedi Sentinels, which are basically carbon copies of each other on different sides. But basically, you got your main attacks, you just got your regular, just like normal attack that either just does damage just because you either don't have enough force, or you're using it to build rage in case of the martyr that will be using in this gameplay that I'm going to be showcasing in the background. It's an okay game. I mean, I didn't really do amazing, but I mean, I'm very undergeared compared to everyone else, so I don't do a lot of damage in comparison, even though I'm one of the more overpowered classes in the game. But anyway, so you got your main attack. I think mine's battery or just assault. I mean, on my shadow it's saber strike. And that's just a single attack, kind of just saying it does 3 different like swings, so it's like a slash with one and then a slash with the other, and then they kind of do a double one, and then that's it. And then resets the global cooldown, which is like every 4 or 5, actually it's probably like 3 seconds. So you can use another attack. For my martyr, for instance, you start every battle with pretty much like 0 rage, and you use my like basically teleportation technique, or you'll see it all the time, where I just fly like major lengths across the arena or whatever, to build my rage, and that gives me like 3 or 4 range. I don't remember which it is. I think it's 4. And it gives you 4 rage, which means, and then from there I usually will, depending on the target and the situation, I'll probably use my battering assault, which builds like 6 or 7 rage, and then from there I'll start on my rotation of using obliterate, actually force crush. I prefer to use force crush first, but I mean I'm not really good with my rotation at the moment because I've just been switching everything around. So I try to like use force crush first because it'll build 4 ticks. Well, it ticks them 4 times with dot damage, so it hurts them 4 times, and on the final time it explodes and kind of does like a little, like twice the damage of every tick. And then like, but the main reason I use the attack is because it builds this buff that I get. It's called shockwave, and every tick gives me a shockwave, and it stacks up to 4. And then I use obliterate next, which gives me I forgot what it's called, another buff, which means that when I use this attack called smash, which is basically my equivalent of a knockback, but it doesn't knock anyone back, it just does a shit ton of damage. It will give that buff, which means it automatically crits no matter what, which is awesome. And then the stacking of the 4 shockwave increases the damage by, I think, either 100 or 50%. I think it's 100. And then I'll use the attack. You can see the difference in the attack, the way it looks. Like if the attack goes and it smashes, and then just you see the red go way up their body, and you can kind of hear the attack too. That's when I've done it a little bit more properly. I mean, I don't always do it perfect because not everything works perfectly. Like not every time I get my force choke off on all ticks to get the full stack. So sometimes I just have to go without it just because I don't have enough rage, and the cooldown for my battering assault isn't up yet, so I can't rebuild rage. That's like my main rotation that I do. And then usually that gets them decent, like probably about half to 3/4 down, depending on the character that I'm facing, and depending if they have guard or they're healer and they're healing themselves already. Because if the goal is to get them below 30,000, so I can use my vicious slash, which does a ridiculous amount of damage, just base, if they have 30% or below health. Every class has one of these, I believe, but I think so. I think they do. But yeah, you use that, and it usually can do around 2,000 damage-ish, or if that's, I mean, that's a base, and if it crits, can do like 3,500. For me, since I don't have a full Battle Master set or any War Hero stuff, I just have like 3 Battle Master pieces, and I just bought my lightsaber, which looks pretty sweet, the red and black crystal. But yeah, I mean that's I mean, there's plenty more in my class. I just can't think. Oh, and I'll talk about the cooldowns that I have, the main ones I use. This is something I need to improve on as a player. I don't use my cooldowns enough, and when I say cooldown, I'm referring to abilities that you can use once every like minute or 2 minutes, or that reduces damage, increases some kind of movement, or does whatever, that basically either buffs attack, buff defense. They're usually always defense. Mine are Force Cloak, no, not Force Cloak, Cloak of Pain, which reduces damage, and the attacker takes a little bit of damage. Saber Ward, which reduces damage by like 50% for like 6 seconds or 8 seconds. And my best one, the one that I think is just so retardedly overpowered in this class is it's called Unyielding Rage. It reduces all damage taken for like I think it's 6 seconds by 99%. So you'll be attacking me, and then you'll see on your damage that you're doing to me that's like fall off me is just like 17, 16. It's retarded. It's super OP in my opinion. But that's just me. I mean, those are cooldowns in a general, like, kind of aspect. There's more to the class, and I'll probably discuss more of it, but I just wanted to get something out there, even though this isn't the greatest explanation, because I'm kind of just freeballing it, and because I don't really know how to, like, structure it, because I'm terrible with structure. So, that's gonna be it for me in this commentary, and I hope you enjoyed the video and hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.